What's going on, you guys? I know it's been a while. Exu Te abençoe, Exu bless you. Sorry I've been caught up with work and other things. I do run a few temples, so it's been hard to manage. But nothing that I can't get over. No, Exu will never put anything in my path that I can't handle. So, in today's video that I'm back with, we're going to be talking about something that I'm getting a lot of messages for, which is shocking because I never expected it to go, this fast. A lot of people asking me, what's the initiation process uh, in general in Kimbanda and Ubanda, and then people ask me directly, how do they initiate into my temple? Well, to answer the first question, how do you initiate? Well, first you have to find a temple that you're gonna like. Don't just jump into it. Don't just, hey, I want to initiate right now. Don't do that. First thing you want to do is you want to find where you're comfortable in. Okay, because if you're not comfortable in a religion, you're gonna leave that religion. And you just waste your time, your spirit's time, and you wasted your money because it takes a lot of money to initiate because of the materials. Okay. Now, for example, if you're spiritual and you want to be in a spiritual religion, well, experiment. Find trustworthy houses. In America, it's very hard to find trustworthy temples. Or if you want to do it internationally, you want to be part of a temple. I'll explain at a later time in the video how to do that. But if you live near some temples, or if you can travel to at least visit the temple before you initiate, you want to have a scope of what the energy is, if you can feel energy. Do you feel like you belong there? And what is the values of the house? For some people, they don't care about values. They just want to learn spirituality from different sources. I understand. I don't agree with it. However, I understand. Now, when you live internationally or you live far away from temples, like most people do in America, like for example, every high priest has to have a high priest. My high priest is in Brazil. My grandpa priest is in Brazil, and my great grandpa priest is in Brazil. Meaning, my high priest is in Brazil. The whole lineage is in Brazil. So how would I do it? I have to travel at least once. But there are other ways to remedy that. Of course, there's no sidestepping the process. There are amendments that can be made, but there are certain things that cannot. Okay, so after you go ahead and you see that this is the temple you want to be at, you can ask the high priest of that temple, how do you initiate? Now, each temple is completely different in initiation process. However, in my temple and my lineage and what I learned from my high priest and my lineage, okay, that's what I'm going to be talking about. So if you, for example, want to initiate into my temple in Kimbanda, right, you have a few options. So first, I usually tell people, hey, let's do a job, a spiritual job to get you some better paths, some better finances. Reason being is if you're going to be in spirituality, you don't have to be a millionaire. No, not at all. You could be the poorest person there is, but at least you have to buy basics, candles, or if you can, buy candles for the temple, to support your issue. You have to buy the sacrifices every month, which is chicken. And of course, if you can't, your brothers and sisters will help you, in the temple. Because I have children in here who can't afford to take care of their issue. They still want to devote themselves, and I don't stop them. I never handed God, I never handed Lucifer, I never handed Satan, Beelzebub, Astaroth, Jesus. I never handed Anubis $50,000. It's like, here you go, my man, make me a high priest. No. It don't work like that. Newsflash, it don't work like that. So the reason why in Brazil that the members pay a monthly fee is to help others that need help. For example, one of your brothers or sisters can't pay for their obligations for that month, that covers that. This member is having trouble with this. Let's see if we can open paths for them, So the reason why I tell people to open paths is to get your finances a little bit better, because it's a little bit costly doing your first obrigação, being voodoo and hoodoo, santaria, candomblé. Let's not even talk about, because it takes a lot of money, and it's not the question of filling the high priest's pockets. For some, it's like that. But for example, for me, it's not about that. I charge for materials, and materials, don't come cheap. Like for example, let me show you. So I have a cauldron that I use for some of my spells. Obviously, you can see there's stuff in there, residue. However, there's also cauldrons that you do for your ascentamento, which is right over there. That's my ascentamento of Beelzebub. Of course, I don't have all of them here in this temple, but most of them are in Brazil. So just a cauldron, an actual, can cost anywhere, depending on the size, from $400 to $1,000. Then you have the animals. In Umbanda, there is no animals, but in Kimbanda, which is what most people want, I don't blame them. They want things faster in life. They want luxury, but they also want to take care of the spirituality. So in Kimbanda, you have to have sacrifices. You have to have what's called a tombada, where a animal is cut over you. Of course, if you're new into spirituality, I'm not going to cut a cow over you. However, I had to cut a black chicken. Not black chicken, I'm sorry, a white chicken. A white chicken or a beautiful rooster, so your Exu could eat off of your temple. Obviously, your Exu's not going to come into a human body and come in, but spiritually, he's going to eat and you're going to feed him. And while he's eating off your crown, the bond between you two are going to become tighter and tighter. And when you guys do the ascentamento is his focal point here on earth. So he can actually help you and open your paths. After that, you can, if you want, do a small $200 job to open your paths, but you don't need to really. You just have to feed your Exu, and that's that, and then you learn from me. I teach you guys as much as I can. It's just sometimes I can't teach things to people who aren't prepared. Like if somebody comes to me today, for example, Father Gio, I want to learn how to kill people with magic. No, you're not prepared whatsoever for that. Do you know? Do you have your Eja? Do you have your knife blessed or cursed in this matter? Do you have preparation? Do you know how to cut an animal? Do you know how to properly speak to Exu? Do you know how to greet them? No, So obviously everything is step by step, But that's how it is in my temple, right? So usually I try to open person's paths so they can have the financial freedom a little bit, and then do the assentamento, right? Which can also be called tombada, tuniruri. It all depends. So when you do your assentamento, you're only allowed to do one per year. And you usually do it in pairs with your Exu and your pomagira. So when you do your Exu, you're also going to do your pomagira, because you have your front Exu and front pomagira, right? Your front Exu pomagira. Then you have your Exu that stands in the middle that can come to the front to help or stay back to support. And then you have the back Exu and the back pomagira, who without their permission, none of the other Exus can come. They have to give permission, because if they don't, nobody's going to come. So usually you work with your front Exus first, because they're the most jealous types, and then you work with the back, okay? Now, the reason why I say, your front, you have to work with your front first, is because they're the ones that have the closest connection to you usually. For me, for example, it's Exu Capa Preta. Even though I work with Beelzebub, Beelzebub is my porteiro, what they say. It's the person who comes from behind and defends you, protects you. Capa Preta is the same thing, but Capa Preta, opened my path for me and working for me just like Beelzebub is, So you do your first, and then the second year, if your Exu says you're ready, you do your second one, but this one's just for your second Exu. And then the last one will be the pair again, but it'll be for your back Exu and your back Pombagira, okay? Now, the reason why they're always paired is, just like in my earlier videos I explained, Umbanda, the left and the right are separated, right? Left being the spirits with more carnal desires and have the more energy similar to us, being Exu and Pombagira. And then you have the right side, which is a little bit elevated in energy. Now in Kimbanda, I don't want to say we strictly work with left side, but it's mainly left side. You're mainly going to work with Exu and Pombagira. Now, if you find, for example, a caboclo in Kimbanda, then he's considered a caboclo quimbandeiro, which is usually a caboclo that has the energy of an Exu sometimes. For example, a Hankatoko is a very, very famous Exu, which a lot of people call him in Kimbanda a caboclo quimbandeiro, because he can tread the line between Exu and caboclo. Another one is caboclo pedra preta, caboclo black rock. He also treads the line, you know. So those are just some examples, okay? Now, in Kimbanda, you're not going to do an ascentamento for your preto velho. You're not going to do an ascentamento for your caboclo. You're going to focus on the Exu, because the left side, even in Umbanda, are the ones that take care of your carnal desires. You're not going to be focused on doing your orishas. That's going to come on a different date. That's going to come whenever you clean your ori for your orisha, okay? You can walk in both lines, or you can walk in just one. That's completely up to you. However, whoever walks in Umbanda's line is going to have to walk into Kimbanda for protection. But if you're in Kimbanda, you don't have to go to Umbanda. It's completely optional. Steven, one of my godchildren, you guys saw him in an earlier video. He loves having his Umbanda side. However, he also loves having his Kimbanda side, because the Kimbanda is what protects him. And he also was kind of born for it, you know. So yeah, that's how you initiate into my house, you know. Prices, I really don't talk about prices on here, but it's not phenomenal, you know. It's nothing extraordinary, you know. But that's really what you do for your initiation. Now, do you have to come here? Yes, you do. Initially, you know, I have children in Ghana, I have children in Belgium, I have children in New Zealand, in Australia as well. You know, if you can't come, that's fine. If you can only come in 2 to 3 years, that's fine. At least I can send you an assentamento modified, you know, because nowadays it's not like back in the early 1900s or even early 2000s where you have to be there. Reason being is we're living in the internet age. You know, there's a lot of things that I do that I draw stares and glares and angry faces from these high priests of Kimbanda. I understand Kimbanda is a sacred tradition. However, we're not in the 1600s anymore, guys. Now I'm having godchildren in countries that I never expected that my videos to reach. Like Ghana, I didn't know my videos reach Africa. I didn't know my videos reach Australia and New Zealand. Well, guess what? They do. So what I do is I modify certain things. You know, obviously, Exu can't eat over your head and it can't bleed onto your assentamento. But, you know, mail me a piece of your hair. Mail me some finger clippings. You know, stuff like that. You know, and we can work. You know, and then either I'm gonna have to go over there, or you're gonna have to come over here, and we're gonna make it work one of these years. And that's fine. You know, nothing. There's always a solution to things. You know, I'm not one of these high priests where it's old-fashioned. You know, everything, when there's a will, there's a way. And listen, if you don't have money, don't worry about it. Okay, just come to me and be like, listen, Father Gio, I want to see how your temple is. You'll come for a session. You know, or if you can't come for a session, you still want to initiate. Father G, I want to initiate but don't have money. What can I do? Well, let's work on it. You know, just like when my high priest found me, I was in shambles, in absolute shambles. And guess what? I never thought that I would be where I am now. You know, he picked me up, took me by my hand, and lifted me up. And that's what true spiritism is, and that's what being a true high priest is. True high priests don't value money. What they value is time and effort. If you have if you have the initiative to reach out to me and be like, listen, I want to initiate in Kimbanda, but I don't have money. All right, well, what can you do? Can you send me $75? I'll go grab a chicken. I'll go grab your name. I'll call upon your issue. Obviously, I'll do the reading for you. You know, I'll call upon your issue. Let's see if I can open your paths. Okay, let's go. And we'll take it from there. You know, don't worry about money. Don't worry about what your family's going to think, your family's going to think. But just know one thing, right? And this is very, very important about Kimbanda, okay? Your issue and your spirits will break you down so they can make you the best version of yourself possible, okay? They will make your life transform in ways you cannot imagine. I heard a Satanist who works at Beelzebub. He said, do not work with Beelzebub, as he destroyed my life and built it back up. But I was in the point of suicide, you know. And that's the thing. I'm not saying it's so extreme with Kimbanda. However, be prepared in Kimbanda to lose friends, to lose family, because you're not going to lose anything valuable. When I started my journey in Kimbanda, I lost family. You know, I have family members that I didn't speak to for prolonged years. Family that was really close to me because they couldn't understand. I've lost toxic family members. I've lost toxic friends. And everyone in my temple goes through the same thing. Why? Because they want to destroy that toxic part of you, that corrupt part of you, and build you to be the best version of yourself where you can achieve anything you want. Because that's what spirituality is about. It's a mutual partnership. They won't just go ahead and fix your life. They won't go like this. They will make you work for it. And trust me, the rewards, they are worth it. Because I'm telling you, 3 years ago, when I started my spiritual journey as a high priest, I never thought that I would be where I am today with my godchildren, with the house I'm in, with the situation I'm in financially. You know, I never thought that Exu would bring me here, because a few years ago I had to reset my life completely. I won't go into details, but I lost everything. Everything. My house, I lost my money, I lost my sanity, I lost every single thing you can imagine. And guess what? I'm here stronger than ever. So if you guys want more information on initiation or more information about my temple, the phone number is always going to be down there. You know, you can go ahead and read down there. It's going to probably pop up on the screen if I can learn how to do that. If not, it's going to be down there in the description. Shoot me a message on WhatsApp, because usually, you know, it's strictly WhatsApp because I have a lot of international people. So hit me on WhatsApp and let me know what you think. You know, let me also know any questions you have that I can answer, okay? And also drop down some video ideas or questions that you guys have, and I could potentially talk about it in future videos, all right? Exu bless you guys. May you guys be blessed by the power of Exu. May Lord Beelzebub and my Exu Capa Preta bless you all. Have a beautiful day, guys.